The Netherlands are out, beaten convincingly 2-0 by the Czech Republic this evening. And everybody that bets on foregone conclusions, everybody that bets for the favourites is well and truly in the mud tonight. We have seen a sensational upset. We've seen the quality of the Czechs this evening as well. They were well in this game up until that red card. The red card for Ligt, stone wall, cast iron, undeniable, 100%. 100% a red card. There is no doubt about it whatsoever. Up until that point, both teams, similar possession. Up until that point, both teams, same amount of shots. Up until that point, the Czechs had more chances created in the game. The better football, the better play, the better technicians, of course, were the Dutch. But the Czech Republics were in there. They were involved. And the reason that handball came is because of pressure put on by Sick. The Ligt handles it. It's a stonewall red card. I'm actually surprised it had to go to VAR. And then the Czechs, they put the foot down. And often it's hard to beat a team with 10 men. They normally sit in behind, allow very little space, defend resolutely. And I thought maybe we'll see this go to extra time. This is the Netherlands, of course. This is the Dutch, their powerhouse. They steamrolled the group stages, but they were not at the races tonight in the exact same way that the Italians weren't for large parts of yesterday. But they crumbled. They crumbled under the pressure. He had no reason to handball that. He could have let Sick go through and score. They're still the Dutch. They're still the Netherlands. They had an opportunity to come back, but they crash out. Nothing but congratulations for the Czech Republic this evening. They were sensational in every single way because they weren't fancied to win, but they kept themselves in the game. It was a slow start for them. A lot of pressure being put on by the Dutch, but they held in there. They were resolute, and they are technically a good team. And a few days ago, a certain England beat them and were ridiculed. It's only the Czech. You know, what are they going to do? We've seen that happen a couple of times now at this tournament where particular teams are written off as being past their best or average. There are no rubbish teams left in at this stage. There are no rubbish teams left in, and tonight is proof in that pudding. And I'm telling you, the Germans and the English, they've got to be licking their lips. They've got to be licking their lips at their side of the draw now because it's opening up massively. The Germans or the English can find themselves conceivably in a semi-final. The Danish are going to fancy their chances now of getting through to a semi-final. This side has opened up massively, and I think it's proof again that you don't just bet on the favourite all the time in football. The knockout competition is so different. I was listening to Jurgen Klinsmann speak yesterday, and he turned around and he said, and it was really intriguing, ignore group stages when you go into the knockout phase of an international tournament. His words were, they are two completely different competitions. And we've almost seen that 2 days running. We've seen it 2 days running. The Danish increased their game. The Czechs increased their game. You know, maybe some have said that Italy were a little bit fortuitous. I still think they showed class once the substitutions were made. But tonight, the Czechs were amazing. Absolutely. And the Dutch, do you know what? We go back to things that the likes of David said at the start of the tournament. Not sure about the Dutch. Tonight, the likes of David proved absolutely right. Absolutely right. I want your thoughts and feelings on the game, please, ladies and gentlemen. Please make sure that like button is being hit for us right about now. Of course, a big game kicking off in an hour's time. Again, we'll be live after that as well. Lots of carnage for players. Depay flopped. De Jong flopped being said here. Zuma over Ligt. It was a bad performance tonight. Ben says the orange just got peeled by the Czech. I've seen other things. One of the best things, I stole this from one of the commentators where he says, tonight the Czechs are bouncing. I thought that was as a great play on words. There's no doubt. Twisty said the Dutch seemed arrogant and complacent tonight. I think that's fair. Raven says 9-point teams not tested and you lot fell for it. Listen, I understand. I don't think it's much falling for it. There were definitely challenges. But what we have seen is their bottle there. The Italians, by the way, stepped up. They won in the end, and they dominated the game. They dominated proceedings. Tonight was very, very different from my point of view. Watching it as a neutral, the Czechs always looked like they were going to score. They looked very, very dangerous indeed. There's no doubt about that. And look, the red card came. Why? Because pressure cracks pipes. And that pressure mounted, it cracked. And that's all she wrote as far as I'm concerned. We're going to be running for these 2 match reaction shows this evening, the same competition as we run yesterday. Any super chat over the value of £5, your name is going to go into the prize draw to win a football shirt of your choice. And any new sign-ups to our membership scheme will also go into that prize draw. Jerome Green here. I'm putting Jerome Green's name down on the list to go into the hat. He says the Dutch deserve to be out. What was the Ligt thinking about? They didn't have a second half chance created. And do you know what? That's what's really important here. What a lot of people might try and do is spin this and say, red card tax. That seems to be a phrase at the minute everybody's using on socials. Red card tax. It's only because of the red card. Go back and watch the game and look at the statistical breakdown. The Dutch weren't creating chances. The longer it went on, the Czechs were putting more and more pressure on. They were creating more and more openings. They were looking dangerous. They had an opportunity in the first half, a wonderful cross after the ball was worked very well on the right-hand side, a header that should have gone in. They were getting pulled apart. Gini Wijnaldum tonight, invisible. De Jong, invisible. Two who did have a good game, though. I thought Dumfries, excellent again, especially for the block where he stopped them from scoring a little bit earlier on. There's no doubt the Czechs deserve this irrespective of the red card, in my opinion. This is a great comment. It says, you can't predict football. You can't. And that's the beauty of it. That's why football, for me personally, is the best. Listen, I don't care whether it's a Beyonce, Michael Jackson, Led Zeppelin, if the Beatles mysteriously were able to reform. I don't care if it's the Avengers is back and Tony Stark's coming. If a live football match from a major tournament is on, I'm picking that every single time over a pop concert, over a film, because you kind of know what's coming with a film. You kind of know what's coming at a pop concert, rock concert, R&B, whatever, rave. Sounding old now. Football, the script is never, ever, ever written at all. It's sensational. Got Ram and KJ backstage. They're going to be coming on in a few moments' time. Clay here says, the lone striker is a dying breed in football these days. No clinical finishing or composure from this in this tournament. Years ago, we had Klose, Rooney, Torres, Van Persie missing these days, all wingers. Clay, thanks for that super chat. Because you've put in 10 there rather than 5, your name is going to go into the prize draw twice for a football shirt of your choice. Top man. Thank you very much indeed. And you're right. And this is, football doesn't evolve in terms of, tactically, I don't think there are new things being created too often. There's subtle changes or combinations that get put together, but there isn't anything overtly new. But positions change. And you're right. Inside forwards are becoming the new goal scorers. They're becoming the new creators. Harry Kane, Lewandowski, Aguero, they are almost the last, and I might be missing a name or two, so you'll shoot me down. Suarez, they are the last of a dying breed of traditional, clinical, goal-scoring number 9s. You mentioned Rooney in there. Rooney wasn't really that. He never got played there enough because of what was around him. He was all there and everywhere. Like Rooney would have thrived in this era, I think, a lot more than when he came through. And it has changed tonight, and in football, it's a very, very good point made there. Let's see a few more of these comments that are coming through here. Facts Clay is what Mo says. Man like Sharim says, yeah, but if Oasis came back, I'm just saying, bruv, if you're a Liverpool fan, so maybe, you know what I mean, you're all getting a bit scared these days. You're not as in love with your club anymore, but nah, not at all. If Oasis came back and there was the Champions League final or an Oasis concert, I'm picking that Champions League final, my bro. I'm picking that Champions League final. Because the concert's just as good if I watch it back on DVD. Football isn't. Once you know the result, do you know what I'm saying? Mateus here says, sorry, Terry, but the Italians were bad. Like so bad. I disagree, but that's what football is about. It's a game of opinions. Make sure that like button's being smashed for us right now, people. Egal says, Frank de Boer tax. Jose called it. Maybe. It's a really good call there, my brother Egal. Very, very good call indeed. Are you reading? I don't know. I'm reading people's comments, certainly. We're going to jump to calls now. We're going to get KJ on first. We're going to get Ram on in a few moments to have their say. We will share the link for you to dial in and tell us what you're thinking and feeling tonight. But if you've just tuned into the Terrace, Czech Republic 2, the Netherlands 0. This is the same Czech Republic that England dominated a few days ago. And I'm telling you now, the Germans and the English, I think, you know that scene of Lewandowski and Royce looking at each other smiling? I think that's how the Germans and the English are looking at each other right now. And I'm not disrespecting the Danes. I'm not disrespecting the Czechs. I'm not disrespecting Sweden or the Ukraine. But Germany and England are the two superior teams left on this side of the draw. There is a clear route to this final now. And I'm excited for two reasons. One, my team might be part of it. But secondly, we could also see an underdog. We could also see an underdog and an unfavored team in semi-finals and maybe in a final, maybe even lifting the trophy. It seems like it's kind of been the year of the underdog in many, many cases. You know, both winners of the European trophies this year were underdogs. You saw Sporting Lisbon win their league, underdogs. Lille win their league, underdogs. Not so much in the Prem. You know, we saw Atletico Madrid win the league. The year of the underdogs. Could it be happening in the Euros? It really and truly could be. Thank you very much here to MoonX Trem. I'm going to write your name down here because if I don't write these names down, I will forget, for becoming a member of the Football Terrace and getting your name into the prize draw for the end of the month. Thank you for this super chat here from Francisco. We did have another super chat here. Again, this is from Jerome Green again. So I'm going to times your name by 2 now, brother. It says, does the mentality come down to the players? I think the Dutch sorely missed Van Dijk at the back. I think part of it is the players. Some of it comes from the manager. I think that's something that's 50-50. Maybe their Aprils went a little bit tonight with the pressure of knockout football. No safety net. You remove that safety net and things come falling down. But I'm gonna go now to our panel, bring them in one by one to have their say. First up, my brothers here. KJ's in the house. The Dutch are out. The Czechs march on. Give me your thoughts, mate.
There's only one time that I would agree with Jose Mourinho. And that is when he called Frank de Boer the worst manager in Premier League history. 7 games, 7 losses, 0 goals. And if he had Marcus Rashford, he would teach him how to lose. Oh, what a wonderful quote. Frank de Boer is terrible, bro. Okay, listen. They are the Netherlands right now are the European Spurs. Like, they've got all the talent. They can do these cool runs. But when it comes down to the crunch, they just bottle it. Like, De Ligt, man. What is that, bro? Like, just fall on the floor. If anything, if he just fell over, his body, he would have hit his chest. And the game would have resumed. But man has to try and beat it away with his hand. Poor. Gini Wijnaldum, Captain Fantastic. And we've been singing his praises for the entire tournament. Where is he? Where was he today? Invisible. Memphis. All the tricks, all the hold up, all the pace. Where's the end product, bruv? And I like Memphis too, but today was poor. The only man that can lift his head up higher today is Dumfries. And that block, that block secured him his move. Like, his summer move is coming now. That tournament tax after that block is locked in. He's getting that move. But man, absolutely shocking today from those Holland players and Netherlands players. And you expect more from them. You really do. Because they went on a good run under Koeman. He left. De Boer comes in. And you're like, with this squad, you should be allowed to at least hit quarterfinals. But they couldn't do that. And you got to look at the manager. You got to look at the players. You got to look at the setup and see where have we gone wrong? Because you can't go from looking progressive, looking like you're coming back to a good place, to all of a sudden looking terrible, or not looking terrible. All of a sudden looking like you can't get past the round of 16. That doesn't make sense. So they need to go back to the drawing board. But big up to the Czech Republic, man. What a performance, team performance. Again, as I've been saying, tournament football is about the collective. It's about all together as a team. How do you perform? And then all of them did their jobs. Even, yes, Donny Malen got in, but the goalkeeper did his thing. The goalkeeper did his job. Made sure he didn't score. Like,
and that was a pivotal moment in the game. That's why, like, there's a lot of people saying here's a comment from Baz 10, and I understand this train of thought. The red card changed the game. But do you think the Czechs could still have won 11v11?
It would have been tight, you know. It would literally, at that point in the game, before that point, it's not like the Czechs weren't in it. The Czechs were in it. They played well. Like, they had a chance to win that 11v11. Because for the moment, Daniel Malen missed that one-on-one, After all that hard work as well, he did everything right. You can tell that they're not. There's something up. There's something up with the team. Memphis Depay, his end product was poor today. Occasion getting to him. So they had a really good shot of winning that game 11-11. To say that they didn't, it would have been disingenuous because it's not like they went in half time 1-0 down and they came back to win 2-1. It was 0-0 at half time.
Yeah, and both teams had equal amount of shots. The Czechs had created more chances on goal. The possession was in the Dutch's favour, but a lot of the possession wasn't in dangerous places, and they could have done it in normal time. I think what's also important to remember is, why did the red card happen? It wasn't a stupid two-footed lunge in the middle of the park trying to win a ball. It was to stop Sick from running through one-on-one on goal, which the reason you're sent off is because you denied a clear goal-scoring opportunity, and he may have missed that chance, which is why it was so stupid from Ligt, because there was still well over 30, was it? It was 50th minute? 50th
minute. So much time.
So much time. They could have conceded from that point, rebuilt, scored a goal again. It was such a calamity from him in terms of not only the slip and the mistake, but then getting himself sent off. But as we've already said, pressure burst pipes. And it wasn't like it was an obscure red card or something that could have,
it's not questionable. Yeah, it's not questionable.
Yeah, it was a fight and a man for a punch. And then you can say that changed the game. The red card happened because they had their lines broke. Like it was one of them ones for me. And listen, the side of the draw now. I mean, you've got England and Germany. They must both be licking their lips at this draw. This half the draw now.
Yeah, but we're excluding one other team in this. Denmark. I reckon Denmark are licking their lips and starting to believe. I really do. Like Denmark, I've got a massive chance now to even reach the final. Like, you can call me delusional, you can call me on the gas, but they're showing that in the latter stages of the tournament, that's where it counts, and they're showing it right now. And they've got an extra boost. They've got extra motivation due to how their campaign started. So the Denmark is licking their lips right now. Germany and England are looking at each other like, bruv, whoever flops in this, is going to be missing out. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the biggest chance. The biggest chance. This side of the draw reminds me of Chelsea's side of the draw for the Champions League. If you do the business, if you are solid and come together and as a team put in a performance and get past this one stage, you have a good route and a very achievable route. I'm not saying it's obviously nailed on, because look what happened today.
Yeah.
Both teams have an achievable route to the final to give them a chance to win the Euros. And both of these teams should have that extra motivation to give it everything on the pitch. If both sets of fans do not see 100% effort from both their teams, it would be a disappointing game overall. Because for me, seeing that side of the draw now, seeing that side of the table, you have to give 100%. You have to give 100%. Otherwise, what was the point of getting there?
Yeah, and as I say, listen, I as an England fan, I would never. Tonight's result shows you don't write anybody off, but you have to look at it, and it's the confidence it should give you. Germany, have they been their scintillating best for the last few years? No, but they are the favourites now to reach the final on England's side of the draw. England have got to look at it. It isn't like if we get past Germany, it's Portugal or France, and if we get past Portugal or France, it's Spain or Italy. It's a much more favourable side of the draw than before. If we get past the Germans, you look at it from the point of view of, we've already beat Croatia, the team that knocked us out in the semi-finals 3 years ago. We've already beaten the Czechs, who are a potential semi-final team in this, and we should have beaten them by a few more goals. We were excellent in that first half against them. And if we knock out Germany, there is a great chance. But the most important thing is give 100%, like you've said. But on top of that, it's that element of no complacency. Because I do also think in reverse, Denmark, Czechs, Sweden, and Ukraine, if England beat Germany, I think they fancy their chances. I think they say England's arsehole in football, in international tournaments goes. They've reached one final in 150 years. I think me and my dad were talking earlier today. He was round 3 semi-finals in my dad's lifetime. He was born in 1955. So it isn't like we have a great pedigree either, but that's what makes this exciting now. You almost, if Germany beat England, I think you can call Germany to the final. I think you can because of their pedigree. But if England beat Germany, no one knows who's making
You know what's funny about this? Denmark have a better pedigree in the Euros than England. They've won it. You know what I mean? They've won the thing. So it's facts that they do. And Chelsea fans are in the comments saying, what do you mean we didn't get the easy route? We're Chelsea. Bro, listen. When you guys got your draw, you looked at your draw and said, if we get past the left go, cool. If we got Porto next. Okay, if we get past Porto, we could beat Liverpool or Madrid. You know what I mean? Like, it's the fact that you had that belief that actually there's a route to the top. I'm not saying you had some ridiculously easy draw and you end up winning the Champions League because of that. I'm saying it's similar in the fact that you beat a tough team and then the draws that you get are achievable. You guys knew you could beat Liverpool. You knew you could beat Real Madrid. So relax, my guy, bro. Relax, Chelsea fans. It's not everything is about you guys all the time, but we're talking about England here. You know what I'm saying? Just accept it.
Listen, Chelsea did tremendously well to win the Champions League, but we were all on the live stream, and we can only talk about the Chelsea fans within the Football Terrace community, the ones that come on the shows, and the Chelsea fans in the comment section. When we did the live stream for the quarterfinals and semi-final draw, I would say 90% cheered and celebrated the side of the draw that they were on, and that's fair. And you earned that right by beating up the best team in Spain this season as an example. So you earned that right. The same as, England got through a tough group. And if we get out of that group and then we beat Germany and then it's a couple of easier teams. So what? I'm not going to look at it as there being any shame. What the irony is, why are there easier teams on paper on England and Germany side of the draw? Because they've knocked out the teams that you are saying are better. There's irony in that, So you didn't play any of the big teams, because they weren't good enough to get to that stage. So what does it say? It's like on paper, this is the logic of it. Leicester are better than Arsenal right now, right?
Yeah, on paper, yeah.
But on paper, and in league positions, the last two years they've been better than Arsenal. So Arsenal on pedigree and history are looked at as the bigger team. But I'd much rather play Arsenal than Leicester at a game of football right now. Maybe not Man United because we've got a bit of Judge, a bit of a bogey team.
Yeah.
But Arsenal are not as good. It's not about the history plays a part in it, but it's how good is that team at this moment in time. So it's going to be really intriguing to see how this opens up. But tonight, the Czechs deserve nothing but congratulations. Viewers, do us a big favor and hit that like button, please. Just get this towards that 500 like mark while we're live on the air. We are running a competition till the end of June for you to win an opportunity to win a football shirt of your choice. Tonight's stream, and of course, after Belgium versus Portugal, we're doing the same thing. Anyone who super chats over £5, it doesn't have to be about anything particular, just a point, a question, whatever you want to raise your name, automatically goes into the draw to win a football shirt of your choice as a thank you. And anyone who signs up to our membership scheme gets exactly the same thing. We're going to add Ram to the stream with us now to have his say on this circumstance and on this situation as well. Evening, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, I've started a war in the comments, and I don't know how. You guys keep fighting, bro.
What did you mention Chelsea to them and they started?
Yeah, apparently the Chelsea fans are kicking off over something that's factual. But anyway, how are you, Ram?
I'm not bad. It was obviously a very good match to watch, but all credit has to be given to the Czech Republic. Patrick Schick is having an amazing tournament. Like, I've watched him in the Bundesliga. I never saw him as this clinical striker, and all of a sudden he scored around about 4 goals this tournament already, which is kind of mad. On the Dutch, it's not been good. I think I had a go at the ball with the starting lineup. I think Van Hanel is absolute trash. He's trash. I said this before. Wijndal should play in front of him. He's so much better, and you can see why. I thought Weghorst should have started as well. Like, I heard one of the commentators say the Czech Republic would have loved long balls up at him. He's good in the air, but he's also very good with his feet as well. And Depay thrives off a target man like him. You saw him against Ukraine, and that's another mistake. The substitutions were absolutely shocking as well. Like, you brought on Quincy Promes. Like, I don't know why you brought him on. Like, you want someone to create something. Quincy Promes hasn't been playing that much this season. You could have brought on Steven Berghuis, and when he came on, he started creating chances. Not great chances, but at least he was doing something. Quincy Promes, all he did was give the ball away. So it's just an all-round bad day at the office for the Netherlands. Genie, we spoke his praises, but today he was absolutely shocking. He was not in the... I didn't know what he was doing on this pitch. He was all at sea. He was chasing shadows. He was. Frankie de Jong, I thought Frankie was all right. It wasn't normally Frankie de Jong's standard, but he was still pretty decent. But you can't rely on 2 players to win your football match. You have 11 players for a reason. And yeah, people will say they lack mentality. Well, I said this before. That defense is not good. You need to cover for them. And the way they play, the way that the ball plays, it doesn't help them. It doesn't. And you can't say they miss Van Dijk, but
Man's playing the same 4-3-4 that he played at freaking Crystal Palace that got impounded, bro.
Exactly. Like I said, there's no balance. You can't, like, Stefan de Vrij, Daley Blind, De Ligt, they're not quick. They aren't quick. You can run at these man, and he sticks with it, and he paid the price. It's as simple as that.
Yo, Ram, should he be sacked?
Yeah. What I told you. What sort of question is that? I heard Frank Reich. Is Frank Rijkaard manager of PSV, or is
I'm not too sure who he manages PSV.
I would take him. I'll take him. Did you see the way he played with Barcelona back in the day? Give him that team. And
they've got to look at it. I think with tonight, what was interesting is that it was a mentality issue more than anything for me, because they were in this game. Of course, because the style of play worked in the group stages, and I think where maybe a few of us have been, let's see what happens in these next few games, because these first 2 days of knockout tournament has shown us, don't write a team off because they didn't have a great group stage. Equally, don't think a team that had a very good group stage is going to walk away with it. It's also about peaking. Maybe one thing we're sort of overlooking is maybe the Dutch, maybe the Italians will fall into this category. Maybe they were too good too soon. Maybe they peaked, and actually now is when the French, now is when the Germans, now is when, we look at Denmark. I know they've got a different kind of reasoning as to why it took them a little bit longer to find their feet, but they're coming into form at exactly the right time. So that's what you want in tournament football. It's always been the same, You can smash the group stage of the Champions League. If by February and March you're playing dog, you're finished. You're absolutely finished. I need to add that name of that super chat just there. Thank you very much, my friend. To I think the 1 second, bro. To the prize draw mix. So thank you very, very much for doing that. It says congrats, amazing checks. Looking forward to face them. That's obviously from a Denmark fan, Danish lad. Terry, you learned about. Yes, I did. I can't say the name out loud, but I was reading about him last night. Such a hero in Verona. Yes. Peak player in the sort of the 80s, wasn't he? Can't remember his name now. Rack obviously mentioned him yesterday, so I did a little bit of research, looked into him, and it's interesting. Really, I was talking to my dad about it today. Of course, he's a lot older than me. I just sort of said about that very much to what KJ said. Like, Denmark have had a few years in sort of obscurity, but if you go back to the 70s, 80s, 90s, they had some serious teams with some top quality players. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. We're going to throw some more callers in now to have to say Tom Little joins us. Tom, we've seen maybe our first shock of the tournament, definitely the first shock in the knockout stages tonight. Give me your thoughts.
I mean, if you were to go through all the games, it's the game you could most see the underdogs getting results in. Really, the Czechs are playing really well, and as much as the Dutch were, they're this free-flowing, high-scoring team, they've got Frank de Boer as manager, so that instantly overwrites that, because it doesn't matter how good your squad is. When you get to knockout, you need managerial experience, you need managerial guile, and he's got none of that. But Genie Wijnaldum, I've been very vocal about my displeasure to him this season, and ever since his move to Paris Saint-Germain, I've been getting told, you're going to miss him. He's just got to see him in the Euros. He's going on leaps and bounds. He's going to be a big regret. Do you know how many extra passes he played today? 10.
Wait.
I think
all
he's
game.
finished.
the captain.
Wait.
Over the whole
It was
game,
90 minutes.
10 accurate passes.
I still think we're gonna miss him. We are gonna miss him.
Yeah, Ram.
Hang on a
You
minute.
might
Hang on.
do.
Let's go back a little bit. Let's go back. I'm checking that. I've got to fact check you here. I have to. I'm not saying you're wrong. So he attempted. He attempted 15 passes in the whole game and completed. That's the bit that's even scarier. He only attempted 15 passes and he messed up 5 of them. Wow.
Listen. Invisible.
Captain's performance. That's what you want off your captain. When
Man,
it goes against your team, you want your captain to push on.
Well, I don't think
down to 10 men should have pushed on.
I think the whole team were absolutely dog crap. Honestly.
No,
not just him. They were all dog crap.
No, you can't do this.
You can't. You can have a go at him, but you have to have the same energy for every single player.
The play was awful. The only good Dutch player was Dumfries.
But Tom, don't let him have this. No.
But Wijnaldum is your captain. That's someone who cannot have a bad performance.
Thank you.
That's someone who's supposed to push you on.
You can't have
10 successful passes is abysmal. Imagine if Paul Pogba was the French captain and done that. Imagine the abuse he'd get. Imagine if who's our captain? Harry Kane. Well, he's been awful. Imagine if it was.
No, but hang on. Go back. He has been ripped into because he hasn't been good. And I knew Gini didn't have a good game, but I didn't look at that statistic. To only attempt, when you look at this is it. Quincy Promise came on in the 57th minute and attempted 13 passes. So Gini had 57 more minutes on the pitch in a team, by the way, that had 51% of the ball. And he only attempted 15 passes. That is, for me, the definition of an invisible performance. KJ, you were going to say something there, bro.
You can't let Ram. I'm sorry, you can't do this whole. But the entire team, like you got to also criticize them and don't be too hard on Gini. He's the flipping captain, my brother.
I get that, but
no, he's the one that has been driving this team forward. When he turns up, the team's turning up. When it's the biggest stage, when it's when they need him the most, where is he going? He's going hiding, bro. That is indefensible as a captain of your nation, bro. I'm sorry, you can't be like, but everyone else, accept it, my brother. Your guy was whack.
I accept it, but it's still, I think everyone else was fucking. They were dog crap themselves. They were so bad. They were all bad.
They were. Nobody was great tonight. I think Dumfries did himself proud. I thought he had a good game. Defensively, there's no doubt. Obviously, the Ligt, ridiculous sending off that he took. But as you say, Gini Wijnaldum, he just signed to go to PSG. He's been raved as, when we picked Frankie de Jong, Give Me Sport and Snack as the player of this group. And actually, I was listening to a great build up to the game show. Again, the Dutch were raving about his controlling performance tonight and everything else. But all I heard was, no, it should have been Gini. It should have been Gini. It should have been Gini. To only attempt 15 passes is just awful. It means you've not got in the game at all. Like de Jong next to him attempted 55. That is awful. Do you know what I mean? Memphis, who plays in front of him, attempted 36. Like, it isn't good enough. He had a pass completion rate tonight of 67%, Gini Wijnaldum. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. David's obviously celebrating that. There's no doubt about it. Now,
man's a flip-flop. Nah, David's a flip-flop.
I want to ask you, Tom. When you look at England and Germany, this side of the draw, that the Czechs are in, the Denmark are in, what's your head saying now about who's going to get to the final from this side of the draw?
It's between England and Germany, and I'm just hoping with all my heart that England realise they cannot lose to Germany at Wembley. Because if we don't, I've backwards to get to that final. 110%. Because we've got a very, very favourable draw if we can get past Germany. So I don't care if Harry Kane doesn't turn up for the rest of the tournament, as long as he turns up on Tuesday, because that is the most important game in the tournament now, because it sets everything up for us in such a nice way.
Yeah, it certainly does. I totally get that. And how about yourself, Ram? I know you look like you've calmed down now after Gini was being criticised. Do you see that? You can take the football away from Liverpool, but you can't take the Liverpool out of the football. When it comes to someone at Liverpool, it's like communist Merseyside doesn't know how to handle it when one of their players is criticised. It's like Orange Man bad. Like this doesn't
When
I'm on Liverpool forums, we never speak badly of Liverpool players. How is this happening? This is not right. It isn't fair. I'm going to search James Pearce. James Pearce must say he had a great game. There must be a reason. There's going to be a reason. He got space jammed or something. There's going to be an excuse given. But listen, Ram, who's making the final on this side of the draw? What's your head, Sam, right now?
My head's saying either England or Germany, but I have a sneaking feeling about Denmark. There's something brewing at that place. They have this extra motivation, right? And I'm getting the vibes from that. I mean, they have histories in their history to be the underdogs. Like 1992, they didn't even qualify for the Euros in 92, and they still ended up winning it. And with the whole situation that happened with the Christian Eriksen, there is something that's that added motivation. And I think people are going to be surprised by them. I really think so.
I hear you on that. A lot of people agree. Ram, thank you very much for coming on, mate, and having your say. I really appreciate it, buddy. We're going to go through some more callers here. The link is on the Discord server in the general chat room. If you want to come on and have your say, get any super chats in. Make sure that like button is being hit and that you are subscribing to the Football Terrace. Next up on the show, Mohammed's here. He's a Liverpool fan. What are you saying, Mohammed?
Hello, Terry. How are you?
Very well, thank you. What's on your mind, buddy?
Yeah, I want to talk about the Ronaldo, not just today's performance, but throughout the last couple of seasons, he'll have performances where he'll be invisible, and it will just affect how we play, because we're basically playing with 10 men essentially, and that's what Netherlands, even though they already had a player sent off, they're essentially playing with like 9 men if you think about it, because Ronaldo wasn't there anywhere.
Yeah, listen, we know about Genie. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. In terms of the Dutch, are you looking at this as managerial issues? Is it their players are not good enough? Because, Memphis is an interesting one. A lot of people say flops at Manchester United. Some will say it was circumstance. He's about to go to Barcelona. Did you see enough from the Frankie de Jongs, the Memphises tonight, the Ligt? Did these players that have been touted as future world class or world class, do you think they turned up, or was it the fact that the system and the way they're coached by the board just held them back? What do you think made this happen?
I think it was mostly down to the manager, because we've seen at previous clubs like Crystal Palace, he'll play this formation and it will just completely flop. Because under Koeman, they were a much better team under Koeman. And I just want to say about the Czech Republic, they look decent, got good results against Croatia and Scotland, and only lost 1-0 to England. So they got a hard game against Denmark, but we'll have to wait and see on how well they do in the quarterfinals against them.
There we go. Mohammed, thanks very much for coming on and having your say, mate.
Thanks
really
for having me on, Terry.
Oh, man, thank you. Next up, Donny James is here. Aaron's in the house. What you saying, mate?
Hey, Terry. Before I do my point, I've got something to clear up in the last stream, right? Because I said before I left that this was my last. I don't mean my last stream. I want to clear that up because I'm off to Towers for my birthday tomorrow, so I can't do any streams for the rest of this week. So that's what I meant. So yeah, I'm off celebrating my birthday tomorrow. That's why I can't do any streams for the next few days, because I'm busy and stuff like that.
Congratulations and many happy returns. How old are you?
I'm gonna be 21 tomorrow.
Oh wow, you're a kid.
Nice. And is your better half? Is she going with you?
We split up like last week.
Wait, what?
Oh no!
The world's coming to an end.
What happened?
Well, she was seeing someone else. Someone is playing as simple as that. Something is playing as simple as that.
Why?
I don't get why I'm so unlucky. It's like England. We can't catch a break right now. It's ridiculous, man.
I don't know what. Mate, honestly, you said it like she just gone to the shop to get a bottle of milk. It's the flippant way. I'm sorry. Wow. Okay. There we go. Well, give me your thoughts on tonight's game, please.
Yes. Yeah. Let's move on before we get any weirder with that situation. So, the Dutch were. I didn't believe the Dutch were going to go through today. I said the Dutch weren't going to go through last time because they were too negative. And I get Ram's point and I get KJ's point of the Wijnaldum criticism. He does deserve to be criticised because he's the captain. He should be leading that team. He didn't. He bottled it. PSG should be looking at his flaws thinking, how can we fix that? On the other hand, there were other players in that team that do deserve criticism as well as Wijnaldum. I think Dumfries can hold his head up high. I think that De Jong maybe could hold his head up high, but apart from that, not really anyone else, to be honest. But the Czech Republic, Patrick Schick was unbelievable. Soufal at right back was amazing. Souček in the midfield was unbelievable. The goalkeeper kept out any Dutch attacks that came in both halves. Do I think the red card changed the game? 50-50 on that one. I think it would have been tight anyway, but I think the Czech Republic would have won that anyway. And my final statement before I come back next week is, mark my words, Denmark will win the Euros. Not get to the final, they will win the Euros because I have that feeling.
Ooh. Yeah.
Interesting indeed.
Yeah, Aaron, before you go, Aaron.
Coming on, and remember, there are plenty more fish in the sea. Enjoy it, mate, and speak to you soon.
Stay strong. Like a wise man once said, Saint Future said, she belongs to the streets. There you go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I'm I didn't exactly you say. I didn't know they broke up. But in fairness, it's not the kind of thing you announce publicly in a tweet, like reading a press statement. Do you know what I mean? It's like you kind of
communicado official.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It tends not to happen. There we go. We've got Gunnar Express with us now. Gunnar Express, before we go any further, you haven't broke up with your partner or anything in the last few days?
Not that I know of, anyway. No.
Oh, good. I'm glad to know. You know what I mean? Give us your thoughts on tonight's game, mate.
Yeah, I'm not too shocked, to be honest, that Netherlands have actually gone out. I did think they'd win this game, but they've got Frank the ball. I mean, that says it all. As Jose Mourinho said, the worst manager in Premier League history. 7 games, 7 losses, 0 goals. The guy is just an awful manager, and the fact that Netherlands, who, let's be honest, they had an awful World Cup. They didn't even qualify for it. They give it to Frank de Boer after Koeman. Like, I don't get what's going on over in the Netherlands in terms of their football federation and how they're trying to.
Wait, so you don't like the FA either?
Bro, I'm not too bothered about the Netherlands in it, but yeah. I mean,
I'm about to say you might be one of those guys that just cares about the FAs. Like, you don't like England's FA, you don't like Holland's FA. Like,
no, but it's like it's not even that I don't like. I'm not too bothered about Holland. Like, I don't think they're that good of a team. I think a lot of their players are actually quite overrated. I think Frankie de Jong, he's a good player, but a lot of people say he's better than Verratti and all these lot, and I don't even think he's on the same level as a Verratti yet. I think he needs a couple more years to prove how good he actually is. But yeah, I mean, look, they're going to be blaming De Ligt, as they should. That was stupid, and he does this every now and then, De Ligt, and this is why I think he's not world class yet, and he might never reach that level, because he just has these silly moments in him where he can play really well for 85 minutes, and in the last 5 minutes do something stupid like that. And he did it today. He didn't need to do the incident for the red card. And to be honest, I wouldn't be shocked if the fans don't blame him, because they were decent the whole game, and then as soon as that red card came, they crumbled, and 2 goals went in. And again, Patrick Schick possibly could get top scorer depending on how far Czech Republic go. I do see them getting knocked out next. I think the Denmark should be quite confident going into the next game. But yeah, Netherlands, I mean, they've got to be sacking the ball. Surely he should be sacked within the next week, because he's just not good enough, and their defence isn't good enough. I think a lot of people got excited at the likes of Dumfries and how good he is at like attacking, but defensively, he's really not that good.
You know, you mentioned there Frankie de Jong. I feel a bit sorry for Frankie de Jong because I feel like since he's been at Barcelona, I feel like they've been in the mud. I think there's been turmoil and problems there. With the Netherlands, it's very, very similar. There've been some very talented players in football who just sometimes can't catch a break in terms of the club or their nation at that particular time, what's going on, how things are sort of being managed. And I'm still not convinced. I'm still not convinced Barcelona are going in the right direction with Koeman staying for another season. You know, how good are the new president and people running the team going to be? You know, it could just be a case of Frankie de Jong being, you know, Barcelona 10 years too late. They might be about to go for a really tough period, especially with Messi. Although it looks like he's been offered a new contract extension, and it looks like that's going to come. That's not Messi isn't lasting forever, and I feel like that's a problem. And of course, with Frank de Boer, it's the same situation. So I feel a little bit sorry for him because he's young. And you mentioned the likes of Verratti and these individuals. You just need someone of quality to develop you that understands what you're trying to do. And I don't quite think he's getting that. Gunnar Express, thank you for coming on, mate, and having your say. Really appreciate it, buddy. Obviously, news tonight. Diogo Dalot starts for Portugal. Diogo Dalot is starting for Portugal tonight. Bruno Fernandes on the bench. I'm so happy he's on the bench. Honestly,
Same. Oh,
I'm happy in my heart. He's beautiful. Gal's here with us. What you saying, mate?
Yo, first, let me just say happy Bukayo Saka Appreciation Day, everybody. And then let's continue on to Netherlands. What happened? Honestly, I just feel like a brain fart moment. And then next thing you know, they're down a man. They weren't looking at any point like they were gonna do anything after they went down to 10 men. Everyone's gonna say Frank de Boer. Everyone's gonna say Ligt made the biggest error and got them out. I'm just gonna say, you know what? The Red Seas are parting. Everything that you predicted, Terry, is starting to come to fruition. And you know what? It's putting a lot of pressure on whoever wins that England-Germany game. They're going to look like the favorites to go to the finals now. And it's quite interesting. That's the take that I'm looking at it. I understand everyone's probably spoken so much about the Netherlands and how poor they were. I'm going to just say Czech Republic, big up to them for what they've done, the way that they played, the team that they have. This is probably like this is probably their best chance to get close to a final. And if they can somehow beat Denmark and somehow beat whoever comes out from the England, Germany, other side of the draw, it's gonna be interesting to see. Because on the other side, we know who's there, the big boys.
Yeah, I'm actually really glad that we're on this side. It's literally like if England do get past Germany, which is a tough task, it'd be like watching all the big boys scrap over there and fight to that one spot. And hopefully, by the time they've got to that final, if England make it to the final, they've expended more energy and more stress on their bodies because they're playing at a high level, and then England have a better chance of winning the final. But yeah, man, it's going to be interesting tournament indeed.
Of course, but on top of that point as well, like we look at tonight's game. A big and favourable nation is going out because they're playing one another. But England might get beat by Germany. We know that. Germany could get beat by England. But France could go out before these big games even happen. And the last couple of days, nobody expected Denmark to slap Wales 4-0. Nobody predicted that. No one. I didn't see a single person say they're going to get beat up today. You know, Italy, most expect them to get past. Who did they even play last night? I forget. Austria. Most people expect when we did the predictions, it was like, yeah, they're through. Like no one even paid it any thought or any real attention. That was a difficult game for them. It took them to make 2 substitutions late on to outclass them and improve. Today, you know, we saw this game where it was 50-50. So knockout football at international tournaments, it's you know what I love about it? There isn't a second leg either. You know how many times have we seen in the Champions League the more favoured team mess up and maybe lose the first leg, or they suffer a draw, but they can always recover in that second leg. This doesn't happen at this level. At this level, it's do or die on the night, and anything could happen. I think it's open. And what normally, you know, as you say, what will happen to England if we get past Germany? I'm telling you what will happen if England make a final. We'll get past Germany, and then it'll be, yeah, but it's really easy for you. Again, people will negate the fact that supposed better teams on paper have all been knocked out, and who knows who we could face in the final if we get there. But it's open-ended. I honestly, as an England fan, you dream of being there. But right now, I would put my money on Germany if I was betting on it. Outside of Germany, it's literally anybody's call that can make that final. Do you know what I mean? And you probably find the Frances and the Italies and Belgium and Portugal from the other side are looking at it thinking, fancy a final against any of those teams. Probably Germany, you know, and let's see what happens in relation to that. A few people are asking for who's winning tonight's match. KJ, who you going with tonight, Portugal or Belgium?
Bruv, the agenda must keep be running, bruv. The agenda needs to keep running. Santos is a fraud. I don't care what anyone says. He is whack, my brother. So, Belgium need to go do the business. I reckon Belgium are going to do it. Lukaku, Hazard, De Bruyne all starting at once. Tillemans in there, Witzel. Come on now. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Belgium all the way. Pamming 2-0 Belgium. Let's do this. Santos sacked in the morning. Let's go.
How about yourself, Agal? Who are you going with tonight? What are you predicting?
I'm going with Belgium. The way Kevin De Bruyne, since he's come into the team, the way he just swims past defenders in the final third and finds those balls to play to Lukaku or anyone else, it's just like, it's almost like, I don't even know. It's just like it's FIFA or something, and he's like level above everybody else, and everyone else is just picking up the game the way Belgium play against their opponents. So we have to see how they go against a real test. But I'm going Belgium, and you know what? Hopefully, it's a good game for for me as a neutral.
Tom?
I'm going to go Portugal. I think he's made that midfield up of Moutinho and Sanchez. You know, he's stopped the Fernandes starting thing. He's decided he's trusting Ronaldo wholeheartedly to be his ball carrier. And I think you can never rule out Ronaldo in these sort of situations. He always turns up, and I think it won't be comfortable for them, but I think they'll scrape through.
Do you know what's interesting tonight? We've seen Portugal tested at this tournament. They've drawn 2-2 with the best team, the most favoured team in it. They got slapped by Germany that everybody's still iffy about. And they really struggled against Hungary the same way both Germany and France did, but they got the win in the end 3-0. But they've been tested. You know, to Igal's theory, Belgium haven't been tested yet by anybody that's too decent. So we really don't know. Based on the form in the group stages, on paper, you'd put Belgium forward. I'm going to go with, though, I think it's going to be settled on penalties tonight. I think it's going to be 2-2 on the night. It's going to go to penalties. If it goes to penalties, I'm picking Portugal. Ronaldo, Fernandes, Ronaldo and Fernandes, I think they're going to put themselves through. It would almost be iconic and ironic, more than iconic, I would say. Both maybe could come true. But we're going to be live straight after the game, whether it's 90 minutes or at the end of extra time or at the end of the penalty. So make sure you stay with the Football Terrace. I'm sorry to everybody else waiting in the background, but we will be back later on this evening. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the Football Terrace. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll